Is Vice President Vance hosting a gathering this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
Is he working on what?
Is he hosting some kind of gathering of top advisors this evening to talk about how to respond to the Epstein situation?
I don't know. I could ask you that question. I don't know of it, but I think here's the man right here.
I saw a report today, and it's completely fake news. We're not meeting to talk about the Epstein situation, and I think the reporter who reported it needs to get better sources.
Look, the whole thing is a hoax. It's put out by the Democrats because we've had the most successful 6 months in the history of our country. And that's just a way of trying to divert attention to something that's total bullshit. Okay?
I just want to know which part specifically is total bullshit. Like, which part specifically? Is he saying that, like, Trump, that he wasn't blackmailing people and that former Mossad agent Ari Ben-Binosh was lying about that? Is he saying that, like, you know, that it's bullshit to suggest that he was working for the Mossad at all? Is he saying that it's bullshit to suggest that he was found guilty and got a sweetheart deal for some unknown reason? Is it bullshit to suggest that your own Secretary of Labor under your first term, Alexander Acosta, said that he was told to leave Jeffrey Epstein alone because someone from a higher pay grade told him, even though he was the presiding judge, to just look the other way and allow him to sign the sweetheart deal despite the fact that he had molested children? Is that all BS? Like, is Alexander Acosta lying? Your own Labor Secretary, was he lying then? Everybody's lying. What part specifically is bullshit?
It was a real display of unity in Washington, D.C. today. Victims standing side by side with members of Congress, all with the same message: release the Epstein files in full.
I was only 14 years old when I was introduced to Jeffrey Epstein by a 13-year-old friend of mine.
I was only 14 years old when my friend brought me over to Jeffrey Epstein's house in Palm Beach.
I was 16 years old when I was flown to New Mexico to spend a weekend with Epstein and Maxwell.
Women who say they faced years of abuse by Jeffrey Epstein coming together in Washington, D.C. today. They're calling on lawmakers to support a discharge petition that would lead to a bill and, if passed, would require the Department of Justice to release.
I'm sorry, am I the only one thinking this? Where the hell were their parents? I mean, I don't know the full story of how they even got to this island, but that's one of the big questions I've had. If you guys know some of these stories, you know, what happened on some of these situations, put it in the comments below. I'd really like to hear about, you know, about some of these survivors and how they even got there in the first place.
Epstein records. Politicians on both sides of the aisle speaking out.
We are coming forward and we are going to fight like hell for these women, because we have to fight like hell for those that are enduring sexual abuse.
A nation that allows rich and powerful men to traffic and abuse young girls without consequence is a nation that has lost its moral and spiritual core.
With enough support.
Men or women. It's not just men. Stupid liberal.
It would require the DOJ to release all unclassified materials, including names of co-conspirators, flight logs, details on immunity deals and cover-ups, internal DOJ communications, and records surrounding Epstein's death. President Trump asked by members of the press if the withholding of documents is to protect friends or donors. Trump responding,
It's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant.
On Tuesday, the House Oversight Committee publicly released more than 33,000 pages of documents related to the disgraced financier, much of which was already public.
What part is a hoax? See, this is what I am not liking about Trump. This is ridiculous. What part is a hoax? They raided his island. They found so much evidence. What is a hoax? There's women out here saying that they're victims. They're starting to come out. They're brave enough to come out.
Whether you're a Republican or you're a Democrat, this one is an easy call.
According to California Congressman Brad Sherman, if a majority of members of the House of Representatives sign this petition, the House must begin debating this bill within several days.
Many of us were abused by them.
Our demands are clear.
Ghislaine Maxwell must remain in a maximum security prison for the rest of her life. No leniency, no deals, no special treatment. The Epstein documents must be unsealed. Every name, every detail, no more secrets, no more protection for those who preyed on the vulnerable. And finally, we demand full accountability from every enabler, every accomplice, every person in power who turned a blind eye. The justice system was not designed to serve the powerful. It was meant to protect the people.
I was just one of the many young women trapped in his orbit. I was even taken on a trip to Africa with former President Bill Clinton and other notable figures. In those moments, I realized how powerless I was. If I spoke out, who would believe me? Who would protect me? Epstein himself was the most powerful leader of our country. Epstein surrounded himself, with the most powerful leaders of our country and the world. He abused not only me, but countless others, and everyone seemed to look away. The truth is, Epstein had a free pass. He bragged about his powerful friends, including our current president, Donald Trump. It was his biggest brag, actually.
Jeffrey Epstein, sexual abuse survivors and their family members shared their stories in Washington, D.C.
This Epstein situation is getting very frustrating for everyone. And there's people out there that probably do not care about this. The people are like, who cares? He was on an island. He did that to kids. There's people out there that do not care. I care because we want this to stop happening. And the people that are doing it, there's still people that are doing it. And those people have tons of money and power. And money and power is hard to stop because you have actors, even in the White House, that are defending them. You know, someone is pulling a gun on people's heads and telling them, do not say anything about this. There's way too many people involved. I already know that there's way too much power involved in people, and I've said this in other videos, that if too many people got exposed, our system of government could probably collapse. This is probably what they're thinking about in the White House. They're calculating like, if we tell the American people, throw everybody under the bus that's been associated in doing this sex trafficking of the Jeffrey Epstein situation, is going to destroy our system of government. That is the only thing I can think of on why they are not releasing the files to the American people. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And I've seen some things in some of my comments where, in certain situations, yeah, I'm defending certain actions that our President Trump is doing. And when I say that, people come back and quickly say, well, he's not releasing the Epstein files. I agree with you on that. But like I said, when you look at presidents, you can't just judge them off one thing. You have to look at the whole big picture of what they are saying to the American people once they get elected, becoming, into office, and what they actually do. Are they carrying out the promises during the campaign? I mean, so far Trump has been, except for this Epstein list and files and disclosure of who was involved. I mean, the American people, we're sick of it. We're ready to finally know what's going on. We need full transparency when it comes to this. How can we truly trust our government? Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Till next time. Peace out, everybody.